The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was huge. Its walls shone with colors that changed as light passed through the crystal towers. Hundreds of delegates from many alien species sat in their places. Some had skin like glass, some had scales, and some seemed to float in the air. All of them looked down at the human ambassador standing alone in the center. Ethan Cole, the ambassador of Earth, stood tall. His uniform was simple but neat. His hands were clasped behind his back. His eyes moved slowly across the crowd, taking in every face. He felt a mixture of anger and sadness. Humans had fought hard to join the Galactic Council, but now they were here to defend themselves against exile. The head of the council, a large being with 6 arms and a silver head, spoke first. Its voice echoed across the hall. Humans are dangerous. They are violent. They cannot be trusted. Their ambitions are too high and their presence threatens the balance of the galaxy. The words hit Ethan like a cold wind. He had expected some resistance, but not this kind of hatred. He took a deep breath and stepped forward. Esteemed members of the council, Ethan said, keeping his voice calm. Humans are not perfect, but we have done much for the galaxy. We explore, we trade, and we help when others cannot. We fight only when threatened. We have saved worlds from destruction many times, and yet you judge us for our strength. We are not your enemy. The crowd was silent for a moment. Then a being from the Clintar species, tall and thin with black glossy skin, spoke. Your words are lies, human. Your people have fought each other for centuries. You destroy worlds you cannot control. You are a danger to all life, not a protector of it. Ethan nodded slowly. Yes, humans have fought wars on their own planet. But we have also built peace. We have learned from our mistakes. We understand power, and we know how to use it wisely. You fear us because we are strong. That fear does not make us guilty. A murmur ran through the hall. Some species whispered to each other. Others shook their heads. The council seemed ready to ignore him. Then the vote began. Delegates pressed buttons on their crystal panels. Lights flickered green for approve and red for banish. Ethan watched, his heart heavy. He knew the galaxy was large and full of fear. He knew that humans had enemies everywhere. But still he hoped that reason and honesty would win. It did not. The red lights spread across the hall like fire. One by one, the delegates voted to banish humanity. Ethan felt his stomach drop. The council had decided. Humans would be cut off from the galactic network. Trade, communication, and alliances would end. The doors of the galaxy would close to them. The head of the council spoke again. Humans are hereby exiled from the Galactic Council. Any human who enters our space will be considered a threat and dealt with accordingly. This decision is final. Ethan bowed his head. He had no words. He wanted to shout, to fight, to make them understand, but the hall was silent. There was nothing he could do. Outside the Grand Hall, humans gathered on the decks of their ships. The Earth fleet was small compared to the fleets of many other species, but it was strong and disciplined. Admiral Daniel Hayes, a veteran of many battles, stood on the bridge of the flagship. He watched the distant council headquarters through the viewing window. They cast us out, Daniel said softly. His voice carried no anger, only a quiet determination. They think we are weak because we do not attack first. They think they can survive without us. They will learn their mistake soon enough. Ethan walked across the deck to the Admiral. We cannot change their minds now, he said. We can only leave and survive. Daniel nodded. Then we leave. We take our ships, our colonies, and our people. We go beyond the rim where no one can touch us. And we wait. We grow stronger. And one day they will remember us. The fleet moved in perfect formation, leaving the heart of the galaxy behind. Humans looked back at the stars, feeling both pain and hope. They were gone, but not broken. In the years that followed, humans spread to the edge of known space. They built new colonies on distant planets. They explored dark systems that no one else dared to enter. They trained their fleets, improved their technology, and learned the secrets of the stars. Some alien races celebrated humanity's absence. They cheered in their homeworlds. They believed peace would finally last. Some ships flew patrols hunting humans where they could, just to see if the exiles could be destroyed. But there were a few who remembered the humans' courage and strength. Lyra, an ambassador of the Thalari, watched the human fleet leave. Her skin shimmered with a soft blue light. Her eyes followed every ship. She whispered to herself, "They are gone, but not gone forever, and one day we may regret casting them out." Back in human space, life went on. Children grew up hearing stories of the Council and the exile. They learned about the worlds humans had once saved. They were taught the lessons of patience, strategy, and resilience. Ethan Cole retired from the Council battles, but he continued to advise the human fleets. He spent hours in the observation decks watching the stars. He thought about the galaxy that had turned its back on humanity. He thought about the humans who had been left behind and the ones who had survived. Daniel Hayes, meanwhile, led patrols and training exercises. The human ships were fast, their crews disciplined, and their minds sharp. They were ready for anything, though they did not yet know what awaited them. Life for humans at the edge of space was not easy. Many planets were harsh. Resources were limited. Some colonies faced strange storms, violent wildlife, and harsh climates. But humans adapted. They built shelters, found food, and learned to survive. They also looked outward. Scouts and explorers traveled to uncharted systems. They discovered new stars, new planets, and sometimes strange remnants of civilizations long gone. They collected knowledge, learning the ways of the galaxy while the Council ignored them. As decades passed, the human fleet grew stronger. They no longer feared the Council or other alien powers. They built new warships larger and faster than ever before. They trained their pilots to be fearless, and they trained their scientists to develop weapons and shields that no one else could match. Through it all, Ethan Cole and Daniel Hayes reminded the humans of one thing. Humanity's strength is not only in its ships or weapons, but in its people. A fleet is nothing without its crew, Daniel said one day. A planet is nothing without its people. Never forget who you are, and never forget what they did to us. On distant worlds, the humans celebrated festivals of remembrance. They told stories of their home, of Earth, and of the Council that cast them out. Children listened, wide-eyed, learning to be brave, patient, and clever. Meanwhile, in the Council's chambers, life went on as well. But the galaxy was not as peaceful as it seemed. Small attacks began on outer colonies. Ships disappeared mysteriously. Pirates grew bolder. And in the darkness beyond known space, strange signals pulsed. Signals that no one understood. Some Council members began to worry. They had cast out humans because they feared their power. Now problems were growing that humans might have solved, but pride kept most from speaking. No one wanted to admit that they might have made a terrible mistake. Only Lyra, now an experienced diplomat, remembered the humans well. She watched the reports from the outer sectors and frowned. "We were wrong," she whispered to herself. "We cast out the species that could have saved us." On human ships, Ethan Cole smiled faintly when he heard rumors from the border of known space. Scouts reported seeing strange activity near old Council sectors. Humans were alert, ready for whatever came next. They knew the galaxy would not stay quiet forever. And so humanity waited. They waited at the edge of the galaxy, building strength, watching the stars, and preparing for a future that no one in the Council could imagine. For now, they were silent, exiled, and unseen. But humanity never forgot. Humanity never surrendered, and one day, the galaxy would learn what it truly meant to underestimate humans. Years passed quietly at the edge of the galaxy. Humans settled on new planets, far from the reach of the Galactic Council. They built cities under strange suns and farms on dry worlds. Some planets were covered in forests, others in deserts. Humans adapted to every place they chose. Admiral Daniel Hayes spent his days training the fleets. His ships were faster and stronger than ever before. Pilots learned to navigate dangerous star systems. Engineers created shields that could withstand strong energy blasts. Scientists studied new planets and mined rare materials. Every human knew that the galaxy might need them again one day. Ethan Cole often walked among the colonies. He watched children play under alien skies. He smiled when he saw their laughter. These children would grow to lead the human fleets and colonies one day. They would learn the lessons of Earth, the lessons of survival, and the lessons of unity. The humans did not forget the Council. Some ships still patrolled near the borders of known space, quietly observing. They did not interfere, but they were ready. Humans were patient. They knew the galaxy moved slowly, but change could come fast. Far inside the Council's territories, the galaxy seemed peaceful. Trade continued. Alliances formed. Conflicts were smaller than before. For many alien races, life was easier without humans. Ships no longer had to worry about human fleets defending the border. Some governments even celebrated. But slowly things began to change. Pirate attacks started in the outer sectors. Small fleets of unknown ships raided colonies. They took food, supplies, and sometimes entire planets. The Council dismissed these attacks as minor threats. They believed humans had left a power vacuum, and that the galaxy could handle it. Lyra, the Thalari ambassador, noticed the changes. Her eyes followed reports from the edge of space. She saw planets disappear without warning. Entire fleets vanished. She noticed strange signals coming from deep space. Some were like nothing she had ever seen. She warned the Council. "Something is coming," Lyra said. "We cannot ignore it. Humans once protected these sectors. Now without them, we are vulnerable." Most Council members shook their heads. "You worry too much," said one. "Humans are gone. We are safe. Leave the outer sectors to our fleets. The humans cannot help us now." Lyra sighed. She knew the Council would not listen. Pride and fear kept them from seeing the truth. She would have to watch and wait. Meanwhile, at the edge of known space, humans trained. They watched the stars and mapped systems beyond the rim. Scouts reported strange disturbances. Some planets showed signs of unusual energy. Ships disappeared mysteriously. Humans prepared quietly, knowing that danger could arrive at any time. Daniel Hayes called a meeting with his top commanders. "The galaxy is changing," he said. "We do not yet know what is coming, but we must be ready. Every ship, every crew, every colony must be prepared. We cannot be caught off guard." One of the young commanders, Sarah Miller, nodded. "We have trained for this, Admiral. Humans are ready for any threat." Daniel smiled faintly. "Good, but readiness is not enough. We must also learn, watch the signals, study the systems, and explore every corner of space. Knowledge is power." Over the next decades, humans grew stronger. They built larger ships and faster engines. They developed weapons that could reach across light years. They studied the strange energy patterns that appeared in the galaxy. Many scientists believed these signals were not natural. Something intelligent caused them. Something dangerous. Back in the Council, problems grew. Outer colonies were attacked by strange fleets. The attacks were unlike anything the Council had faced. Ships moved with incredible speed and disappeared as quickly as they came. Colonists reported strange, glowing machines that attacked cities and ships alike. Panic spread. The Council fleets tried to respond, but their efforts failed. They underestimated the enemy. Ships were destroyed before reinforcements could arrive. Entire worlds were lost. Lyra watched the news in horror. "If only the humans were here," she whispered. "If only we had not cast them out." Some Council members began to fear her words. They sent secret messages beyond the rim, hoping humans might respond. But they did not admit it openly. Pride still ruled their hearts. They could not ask for help. Meanwhile, humans continued their quiet preparations. Scouts returned with reports of strange movements in deep space. Energy storms, disappearing fleets, and signals unlike any known technology. Humans listened carefully and studied everything. They did not panic. Humans never panicked. On the planet Iridia, one of the human colonies, children ran through the desert fields. They laughed and played under the orange sky. Their parents watched, proud of their strength and resilience. These children would grow to become the fleet leaders and scientists of tomorrow. Ethan Cole visited Iridia. He watched the children and thought about the Council. They had cast humanity out because they feared strength. But humans had survived. Humans had grown. One day the galaxy would need them again. And when that day came, humanity would answer. Daniel Hayes visited a training facility on the planet. Young pilots practiced maneuvers at incredible speeds. Engineers worked on ships in dry, dusty hangars. Scientists tested new energy shields and weapons. Everything moved with efficiency. Everything moved with purpose. A young officer, Michael Reed, approached Daniel. "Admiral, our scouts report something unusual. A fleet of unknown ships is approaching from the darkness beyond the rim. They move in perfect formation and avoid detection." Daniel's eyes narrowed. "This is what we have prepared for. Bring all fleet commanders to the main bridge. We need full readiness." The human fleet moved quickly. Ships left orbit, engines glowing, formations forming in the blackness of space. Every crew member knew their duty. Every ship knew its place. Humans were ready. In the Council, panic grew. Reports came faster now. Outer sectors were being attacked by fleets of machines. Cities were destroyed. Entire colonies disappeared. Council fleets could not stop them. Pride had blinded them for too long. Lyra spoke to the Council again. Her voice shook with urgency. "This is what I warned you about. You cannot survive this without humans. They were the only ones who could match such enemies. Now you must ask for help. Most council members refused. They could not admit their mistake. Some even suggested abandoning more colonies. Others argued over blame. Meanwhile, the enemy moved closer. Back at the edge of human space, Admiral Hayes studied the reports. "This is serious," he said. "These machines are strong and intelligent. They may have studied the galaxy for years, but humans are ready. We will not wait. We will act." Ethan Cole nodded. "We have waited long enough. The galaxy may be in trouble, but humans will be ready when the time comes. We have grown stronger. We have learned, and we have survived." As the years went by, humans continued their quiet work. Ships patrolled, scouts explored, and scientists studied. Every human knew that one day the galaxy might need them again. And in the darkness beyond the rim, the strange signals grew stronger. The unknown enemy was coming. Entire star systems could be destroyed. The Council could not fight it alone, but humanity waited. They trained, they prepared, and they watched the stars. They were ready for the day when the galaxy would cry for help, and that day would come. The galaxy had grown quiet for decades, but that quiet was about to end. From the darkest reaches beyond the rim, something moved. It was not like any ship or fleet the galaxy had ever known. It was a swarm, a collective of machines that acted together as one mind. Its arrival was silent, almost invisible, until entire colonies vanished in a single day. Council fleets rushed to the outer sectors. They came with hundreds of ships, but their weapons barely scratched the swarm. Energy shields failed and weapons overloaded. Entire fleets were destroyed before reinforcements could arrive. Panic spread. The Council had never seen such an enemy. Lyra watched the reports with growing fear. Her eyes flicked from system to system. "This is beyond anything humans could have imagined," she whispered. And yet, humans could still stop it. The Council chambers were in chaos. Delegates shouted over one another. "We need more ships," some cried. "We need more weapons," others demanded. But the Council's fleets were already stretched to their limits. Every world was under attack, and the enemy seemed to anticipate their every move. "I told you this would happen," Lyra said, stepping forward. Her voice was firm but urgent. "We cast out the humans because we feared them. Now we are helpless. If we do not ask for help, the galaxy will fall. Only humans can save us." Most members shook their heads. Pride still bound them. "We cannot admit our mistake," one delegate said. "We will find another solution. We do not need humans." Lyra's blue skin shimmered with frustration. "You will not find another solution. This enemy adapts faster than we can react. Entire colonies are gone. Billions of lives are at stake. You must contact humanity." Back at the edge of human space, Admiral Daniel Hayes reviewed the reports from Council systems. Scouts had returned with data. Entire worlds were gone. Colonies that once thrived had vanished. The energy signatures of the swarm were unlike anything humans had seen before. "This is serious," Daniel said to his commanders. "The Council refused to prepare, and now the galaxy suffers. But humans will act. We cannot allow this threat to continue." Ethan Cole nodded. "We have waited long enough. Humanity is ready to respond, but we will act on our terms. We will not be controlled, and we will not forgive arrogance." The Council finally sent a secret message into human space. It was not public. Pride prevented them from admitting failure openly, but Lyra worked quietly, sending encrypted pleas beyond the rim. She described the attacks, the destroyed colonies, and the swarm that consumed everything. Daniel Hayes read the message carefully. "They are asking for help," he said, "but only a few are willing to admit it. They have not yet learned humility. Still, this confirms what we suspected. The swarm is real, and the galaxy cannot handle it without us." Ethan Cole added, "Prepare the fleets. We will leave immediately. Every ship, every crew, every soldier will be ready. The Council may regret casting us out, but the galaxy itself is at risk." Humans moved with precision. Ships left orbit on the colonies, engines glowing, forming tight formations. Pilots checked their weapons and shields. Scientists monitored energy readings, ensuring that every ship could withstand the swarm's attacks. In the Council, panic grew. Outer systems reported complete destruction. Entire fleets vanished without a trace. Communications were lost. Some delegates began to whisper about humans openly, realizing that their pride had cost them dearly. Lyra continued to push for direct contact. She approached the Council's head, the six-armed being with a silver head. "We must send an envoy," she said. The humans will save us or billions will die. The council finally agreed reluctantly. A small team of diplomats was sent into human space. They approached the edge quietly, wary of humans' strength. They feared reprisal, but there was no choice. The galaxy was falling. The diplomats met with Daniel Hayes aboard the flagship. Ethan Cole stood beside him. The aliens bowed slightly, nervous under the gaze of humans who had spent decades preparing for the day they would return to the galaxy. "Admiral Hayes," one diplomat said, voice trembling, "the Council asks for humanity's help. A swarm has destroyed many colonies. Our fleets have failed. Billions of lives are at risk. We need your assistance." Daniel looked at Ethan. "This is what we expected," he said. Then he turned back to the aliens. "We will help. But on humanity's terms. Earth will not bow. Our fleets will not be under Council command. We fight as allies, not as subjects. Do you understand?" The diplomats nodded quickly, relief visible on their faces. "Yes," one whispered. "We understand. Whatever you require, we will accept." Daniel turned to Ethan. "Prepare the fleet for departure. We move now. Every ship must be ready. The Council needs to learn that humans do not ask for permission. We act." The human fleets left the edge of known space, engines blazing. Pilots tightened formations. Weapon systems were online. Communication networks were clear. Every ship was ready for war. The first battle came at the ruined world of Valoth Prime. The swarm approached in vast numbers, energy glows filling the void. Their ships moved like a single organism, attacking without hesitation, without fear. Humans did not flinch. Daniel Hayes commanded the fleet with calm precision. Ships moved in perfect patterns, cutting through the swarm with coordinated strikes. Energy shields absorbed attacks while plasma weapons tore through the enemy's hulls. The Council fleets watched in awe. They had dismissed humans as dangerous before, but now they saw the true strength of the species they had cast out. Humans did not just fight, they dominated. Every maneuver was precise, every attack calculated. Ethan Cole watched from the bridge. "This is what happens when humans are prepared," he said quietly. "We do not panic. We do not hesitate. We act and the galaxy survives." The battle raged for hours. The swarm ships adapted quickly, changing formations, redirecting energy, and attempting to flank the human fleet. But humans anticipated every move. Their technology was advanced and their strategies were sharper than anything the Council had known. By the end of the day, the swarm retreated. Many of their ships were destroyed, their energy cores shattered. The human fleet had won the first victory, showing the galaxy what true discipline and courage could achieve. In the aftermath, Council delegates approached cautiously. They wanted to understand the human strength, to ask for guidance, to perhaps beg forgiveness. Lyra stepped forward, her blue skin shimmering in relief. "They are beyond what we imagined," she said. "They have returned as saviors, not as subjects. We should have never cast them out." Daniel Hayes spoke to the Council. "The battle is not over. The swarm is still out there and they will return, but humans are ready. We will continue to fight and we will protect this galaxy, but only as equals. Remember that," Ethan Cole added. "You judged us too quickly. You feared us because of our strength. Now you see that strength can save billions. Learn from this or the next enemy will destroy you all." The Council delegates bowed, humbled. Pride had blinded them for too long. Now they understood the cost of their mistakes. Humanity had been cast out, and yet humanity returned stronger than ever. Back on the human ships, Daniel and Ethan prepared for the next battle. Scouts reported that the swarm was regrouping. Energy signals grew stronger, more organized, more dangerous. But humans were ready. Every pilot, every soldier, every crew member knew their duty. They had trained for this moment for decades. As the human fleet moved deeper into Council space, they passed destroyed colonies and shattered worlds. The sight was grim, but it strengthened their resolve. They had survived exile, trained in silence, and now they would save the galaxy that had cast them out. The first victory at Valoth Prime was only the beginning. Humanity's return was a message to the galaxy. Underestimating humans was a mistake no one would ever make again. The galaxy was at war. The swarm had grown stronger since their first clash at Valoth Prime. They moved with intelligence, striking at key colonies and fleets. The Council had begun to understand their mistake. They had cast out the one species capable of stopping this threat. Admiral Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge of the flagship, eyes scanning the starfield. Ships from human colonies moved in perfect formation around him. Every vessel was armed and ready. Every crew member knew the stakes. "We cannot lose focus," Daniel said. "The swarm adapts quickly. We must be faster, smarter, and more precise. Humans have faced impossible odds before, and we will do it again." Ethan Cole stood beside him. "Our allies are still learning," he said. "We must lead, but we must also protect them. The Council fleets need guidance if we are to save this galaxy." Daniel nodded. "Then let's show them how humans fight." The first engagement came near the shattered world of Torvin. Swarm ships moved like shadows, fast and silent, striking colonies without warning. The Council fleets attempted to respond, but their formations broke under the swarm's coordinated attacks. Ships exploded in brilliant flashes and debris floated across space like glittering stars. Daniel signaled the human fleet. Ships pivoted and advanced in perfect lines. They fired in unison, targeting the enemy's energy cores. Shields absorbed attacks and evasive maneuvers protected the smaller ships. Humans moved like a single organism, precise and unstoppable. Sarah Miller, a young fleet commander, led a squadron of fighters. Her ships darted between the massive swarm ships, striking weak points with torpedoes and energy blasts. She shouted orders over the comms, coordinating with other pilots. "Keep moving! Watch their flanks! Focus fire on the cores!" The swarm adapted, trying to cut off the human fleet, but humans anticipated every move. Daniel had studied the patterns of the swarm for decades. Humans did not just react, they predicted. Every attack was met with a counterattack, every formation with a new tactic. The Council fleets watched in awe. They had never seen such coordination, such discipline, such strength. Humans did not fight like other species. They fought with strategy, with unity, and with courage that inspired everyone around them. Ethan Cole monitored the battle from the command center. "Notice how they flank and retreat," he said to the Council delegates observing the battle. "They are teaching you something. Humans fight for more than survival, they fight for victory, and they fight for each other." Hours passed. The swarm's ships were destroyed faster than they could rebuild. Colonies under attack were saved, and refugees were transported to safe worlds. The human fleet moved with purpose, striking at the heart of the enemy and forcing them to retreat. When the battle ended, human ships hovered in formation above Torvin. The planet had survived, but the scars of war were clear. Cities were damaged and debris floated in orbit. Daniel surveyed the scene. "We did what had to be done," he said, "but this is only the beginning. The swarm will regroup. We must continue the fight." Ethan Cole added, "The Council must learn from this. Humanity is not here to serve them, but to save the galaxy. They cannot underestimate us again." Lyra approached Daniel after the battle. Her blue skin shimmered under the light of Torvin's sun. "You have saved countless lives," she said. "The Council? We are grateful. They will finally understand our mistake." Daniel nodded. "Gratitude is not enough. You must learn to trust humans as equals. We fight, but we will not bow. Remember that." Over the next weeks, humans led more battles across the galaxy. Swarm attacks became more desperate, but humans always anticipated their moves. They cut off supply lines, destroyed control centers, and defended key colonies. Michael Reed, a young fleet captain, led a strike team against a massive swarm base on the planet Gornath. "We hit their command center," he reported. "Without it, the fleet will lose coordination." Daniel smiled. "Good. That is exactly what we need. Every strike brings us closer to victory." The Council fleets began to follow the humans' lead. No longer were they in command. They took orders, adjusted their formations, and learned from the humans' tactics. For the first time, they understood the value of human discipline and strategy. On the planet Iridia, civilians watched the news feeds from human ships in real time. Children cheered as the humans saved colonies and destroyed swarm ships. Adults whispered about the strength and courage of a species they had once feared. Ethan Cole reflected on the years of exile. Humans had trained, studied, and prepared for this moment. They had grown stronger, smarter, and braver. And now, they were saving the galaxy from a threat that no one else could handle. In one of the most daring battles, the human fleet attacked the swarm's forward hive near the edge of Council space. Hundreds of ships engaged in a massive fight. Energy blasts lit the void and explosions shook the remains of nearby planets. Daniel commanded from the flagship. "Push forward. Focus fire on the central hive. Protect the colonies at all costs." Sarah Miller led a squadron that cut through the swarm's defenses. Her ship struck at the hive's energy core, creating chaos and confusion. The swarm tried to adapt, but humans were faster, smarter, and more coordinated. The hive began to collapse. Swarm ships lost communication and coordination. They retreated in disarray, leaving the humans victorious. Colonies that had once been in danger were now safe. The council delegates finally approached Daniel. We have underestimated humans," one admitted. "Your people are extraordinary." Daniel looked at them evenly. "We are humans. We fight for survival, for justice, and for others when necessary. Do not underestimate us again. And remember, we fight as equals, not as servants." Ethan Cole added, "This war has shown the galaxy the cost of pride. Humanity was cast out, but we never gave up. We survived. We trained, and now we lead. Let this be a lesson for the future." Lyra stood beside the delegates. "We were wrong," she said. "Humans are not just strong, they are wise, disciplined, and brave. They have saved us all." As the weeks went on, humans continued to push the swarm back. Each victory was precise, strategic, and decisive. Colonies were saved, fleets rebuilt, and refugees protected. Humans did not celebrate, they focused on the next mission. Their goal was clear: protect the galaxy and destroy the swarm completely. Daniel addressed the fleet. "The enemy is still out there. They will return stronger and more desperate, but we will not falter. Humanity has trained for this. We fight for the galaxy and we fight for every life threatened. We fight together. That is what makes us human." Every ship in the fleet followed his orders without hesitation. Pilots, engineers, and soldiers acted as one, moving with a precision that no enemy could match. Humans did not just fight. They inspired hope, courage, and unity in every species they encountered. After a decisive victory at the planet Solara, the Council finally acknowledged humanity's leadership. They declared humans as equals in all future operations. Pride was set aside, and gratitude filled the hearts of delegates. For the first time in decades, the galaxy understood the value of the species it had cast out. Ethan Cole watched from the flagship's observation deck. He saw humans working with aliens, saving colonies and teaching the Council fleets. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. When humans fight, they do not simply survive. They dominate, protect, and inspire. Daniel Hayes turned to his crew. "This is not the end. The swarm still exists and the battle will continue. But we have shown the galaxy what humans can do, and from this day forward the galaxy will remember that humanity is not to be underestimated." Humans moved forward, unstoppable, disciplined, and brave. They were the galaxy's shield, its sword, and its hope. Every species watched, learned, and followed, not because they were forced, but because they had no choice. Humanity had returned, and this time they would not be ignored. The galaxy had seen war before, but nothing like this. The swarm had grown more desperate after repeated defeats by human fleets. Entire regions of space were scarred by battles. Colonies had been destroyed and countless lives were lost. But humanity had returned strong, disciplined, and unyielding. Admiral Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge of the flagship. Every ship in the human fleet was prepared for the final strike. They were joined by Council fleets now willing to follow humanity's lead. The enemy's main hive, a massive cluster of ships and machines, floated in the void near the dark system of Vortalis. It was heavily guarded, defended by thousands of swarm ships that moved as one. Daniel looked at Ethan Cole. "This is it. The main hive. If we destroy it, the swarm will collapse. But it will not be easy. They will fight with everything they have." Ethan nodded. "Humanity has trained for this moment for decades. We will not fail. The galaxy is counting on us," Daniel addressed the fleet. "This is the battle we were born for. Every pilot, every soldier, every engineer must act as one. Protect each other, strike precisely, and never lose focus. Humanity fights for the galaxy, for life, and for every species that needs us. Victory is the only option." The fleet moved forward. Stars streaked past as engines pushed to maximum speed. Scouts reported the swarm's defenses, energy shields, and attack patterns. Every pilot knew their target. Every soldier knew their duty. Humans did not hesitate. The first wave of the swarm attacked. Ships of black metal moved like shadows, firing energy beams that tore through space. Explosions lit the void as human ships dodged and returned fire. Smaller swarm drones swarmed around human fighters, trying to overwhelm them. Sarah Miller led a squadron in a daring maneuver. Her ships weaved through the drones, striking at the swarm's weak points. "Keep moving. Focus on the cores, she shouted over comms. Her squadron responded instantly, attacking as one. Council fleets tried to follow, but they were slower and less coordinated. Daniel's orders guided them. Humans led the charge, demonstrating the strategies that had saved colonies across the galaxy. Council ships adapted, learning from the humans in real time. The battle raged for hours. The swarm's main hive fired massive energy beams, tearing through the fleet. Ships exploded, leaving trails of debris. But humans pressed forward, shields holding, weapons firing with deadly accuracy. Michael Reed commanded a strike team to flank the hive. "We can cut off their control center," he reported. "If we succeed, their ships will lose coordination." Daniel smiled. "Do it. Every strike counts. Humans act together and we will win." The flanking squadron moved with precision. They dodged energy beams, fired torpedoes, and struck the hive's central core. Explosions rocked the hive, sending energy pulses that disrupted the swarm's coordination. Ethan Cole monitored the energy signals. "Their communication is breaking down," he said. "The hive is collapsing. Humanity is pushing them back." The human fleet pressed the attack. Ships moved like a single organism, cutting through the swarm's defenses. Colonies that were in danger were saved, refugees transported to safety. Every human knew their role, and every crew member acted with perfect coordination. The swarm's ships began to retreat, disorganized and vulnerable. Daniel signaled the fleet to pursue. "Do not let them escape. Push forward. Strike until the hive is destroyed." The final strike came when human torpedoes hit the heart of the hive. Massive explosions lit the void as the swarm's central structure shattered. Ships without control crashed into each other or fled into deep space. The enemy was defeated. The galaxy would survive. Council delegates watched in awe and relief. They had feared humanity's strength before, but now they understood the full measure of it. Humans were not only powerful, they were disciplined, brave, and clever. They had returned as saviors. Lyra approached Daniel after the battle. "You have saved the galaxy," she said. "We were wrong to cast you out. Humanity is extraordinary." Daniel looked at her evenly. "We did not return to be praised. We returned to act. The galaxy is safe because we were prepared. Remember that. Humanity fights for life, not for glory." Ethan Cole added, "This is a lesson that the Council will not forget. Pride can blind even the wisest. Underestimating humans is a mistake no one will make again." The Council, humbled and grateful, formally dissolved its old structure. In its place, a new alliance was formed, one in which humans had equal standing. Delegates from all species attended, acknowledging humanity's leadership and contributions. On Earth and across human colonies, people celebrated. Children ran through streets laughing and cheering. Adults embraced, proud of the fleet and the courage of their people. Humanity had returned from exile not with revenge, but with strength, unity, and honor. Daniel Hayes addressed the fleet one last time. "The swarm is destroyed. The galaxy is safe for now. But remember, our strength comes from our people, our courage, and our unity. Humanity will always be ready to protect life wherever it is threatened. Never forget who we are and what we are capable of." Ethan Cole visited the memorials on Earth. Statues of humans who had fought and died were displayed, alongside the names of allies from other species. Children listened to stories of exile, survival, and return. They learned the lessons of courage, patience, and strategy. On the planet Iridia, Lyra watched the humans rebuild colonies, train new fleets, and help allies recover from the war. She said quietly to herself, "We cast them out, and yet they returned as our salvation." Humanity is not to be feared, they are to be respected and learned from. Humanity did not gloat. They did not demand tribute or obedience. They rebuilt worlds, saved lives, and shared knowledge. The galaxy understood at last. Humans were protectors, leaders, and equals. Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge of the flagship looking out at the stars. "The galaxy may test us again," he said, "but humanity will endure. We do not bend to fear, we do not bow to arrogance. We act, we protect, and we fight for what is right. That is our promise," Ethan Cole nodded, "and that promise will be remembered for generations. The galaxy has learned a hard lesson. Never cast out those who are capable of greatness. Humanity has returned, and this time we will not be ignored." Ships flew across the stars, patrolling, rebuilding, and exploring. Humans led fleets of mixed species, teaching them strategy, discipline, and unity. Colonies flourished. Refugees returned. Trade resumed. The galaxy was alive again. Lyra stood among the council delegates. "We will never forget," she said. "Humanity saved us. They were our greatest mistake to exile, and now they are our greatest allies." Daniel smiled quietly. "Humans will always be ready. We do not seek glory. We seek to survive, to protect, and to help. That is who we are. That is what makes us human." Ethan Cole looked at the stars and thought of the future. Humanity had survived exile, grown stronger, and returned when the galaxy needed them most. The lesson was clear. Strength, courage, and unity could not be ignored. And somewhere in the stars, far beyond the reaches of the galaxy, the survivors of the swarm fled. They would regroup, adapt, and learn from their defeat. But humanity would be ready. Humans always were. The galaxy, finally safe, knew that a new era had begun, one in which humans were respected, honored, and essential. The Council, rebuilt as an alliance, included humanity not as a subject but as a leader, protector, and partner. The people of Earth looked to the stars, children learning the stories of the past, of exile, and of the return. They learned that humanity could survive, adapt, and triumph. They learned that courage and unity were stronger than fear and pride. The stars shone brighter than ever. Humanity had returned and the galaxy had survived, and in that moment one truth was clear. When the galaxy cried for help, it was humanity that answered.